Oh, wait, I made it.
Why did you download it?
Oh, because I have a couple videos in there and I was like,
Okay.
ignore this. My name is Jordan Vaughn. I am like third or second or fourth, whatever, on the list. And I'm presenting on the Animal Crossing game franchise. How many of you guys have heard of this or played it at all?
Play Pocket Camp?
We will get to that. So, and don't ask me my thoughts on it just yet. So my presentation is called Animal Crossing Mini World Wonder. That is a take on kind of just its own little virtual world compared to our world. For those of you who don't know what Animal Crossing is, it's a kind of like a very fictional life simulator where you have your own avatar, own character, living in a town full of animals and you get to interact with them and actually pay off a mortgage, which is weird, but I mean, I guess that's life, right? So before we get into more of the gameplay and the mechanics and all the other cool stuff, I'm going to talk a little bit about the history of the game. So the first game in the franchise is called Animal Forest. It was a very undersold game in Japan back in 2001. The whole concept of life simulation back then was actually reliant on The Sims, which came out in 2000. But this was kind of like Nintendo's take on a third-person controllable avatar using their joystick on N64 at the time to have a virtual world that the avatar or you, the player, can explore. So that came out in 2001, called Animal Forest. Now, later that year, in Japan as well, and then eventually in 2002 in our country, and then 2004 in Europe, the first, this is still, I'll look into that. The first Animal Crossing game, like official, the name Animal Crossing came into fruition there. It was released on the GameCube, and it was really revolutionary because it used the GameCube's in-game clock, and you could use it to tell time. If you wanted to just keep your TV on, your GameCube on, without looking at your watch, you could always just look at the time and use that as a clock. But it was really revolutionary for the time, type of gameplay. So you have your avatar here, and that guy over there, and you're in this world, this pre-rendered world. You have your own house. You have 6 or 7 villagers who live in your area, in your town. You have a bunch of trees. You have a bunch of other buildings, including like right here, a post office. In later games, you'll have a mayor's office. And actually, one of the games, you become the mayor. But the first game, you're just a villager. You get to interact. You get to interact with other animals and basically design your own home and make virtual, fictional relationships with characters in the game. So this is the image or the case for the original Animal Crossing game. It was released in 2001 in Japan, 2002 in America, and then 2004 in Europe. And it has a 87 out of 100 score on Metacritic, which is decently high. It's not in the 70s, which is bad. But this is not the highest rated Animal Crossing game, although it is the original and it's arguably probably the best. I argue with that. So the next one in the series is Animal Crossing Wild World. So do you guys remember when the DS first came out? Wait.
I don't think that.
2005.
Yeah. So the DS came out back in late 2004. It was super cool because 2 screens, one of them's touchscreen. Nintendo really wanted to do some marketing on that, and they created Animal Crossing Wild World, which is literally just a portable version of Animal Crossing. This was the highest selling Animal Crossing game in the franchise, and it introduced a way better and more stable multiplayer. As you can see, the graphics aren't too great, but I mean, obviously compared to today's standards, but it was so great at the time, and it's actually my personal favorite Animal Crossing game. This one got an 86% on Metacritic, and that's still a decent score. It still holds up a lot today. You guys will see later in my presentation I pre-recorded a video demonstration, and you'll see how it works out. But this game introduced like multiplayer chat, as you can see here in Japan, but here it's in English, and the physical stores. That was it you?
Because I have Amiibos, that's why.
When the Wii U first came out, everybody was anticipating a bunch of Nintendo exclusives like Super Mario.
Where's Metro?
Yeah, that too. Metroid, Mario Kart, Super Smash Bros. Minus Metroid. We got all of those, even a Star Fox game that sucked. People were anticipating a mainline Animal Crossing game, kind of going in line with the GameCube and the DS and the 3DS. Oh, sorry, the Wii and the 3DS. But nope, Nintendo decided to basically make another Mario Kart game with an Mario Party game with an Animal Crossing skin, and it wasn't even that much too similar to Mario Party because I don't even think there are mini games on this thing. So it's just a big virtual board game with the Animal Crossing characters. Yeah, it sold less than 1 million copies, and it was a 46 on Metacritic. Stay away from this game. Not only don't buy this game, stay away from it.
Why? Do you like Mario Party?
Huh?
Do you like Mario?
It's not good.
There's no real fun gameplay aspect.
It's like Candyland.
Yes, virtual Candyland.
No, we wish it was like at least like semi-fun as Candyland.
Yeah. And just a heads up, you guys are totally welcome to work out stuff. I want to make this interactive and fun and enjoyable for you guys. So, yeah, needless to say, this was a very crappy, unsuccessful game, and it contributed to the bad reputation that the Wii U has right now. All right, who's ready to talk about Pocket Camp? All right. So before I go into this, how many of you guys actually play?
Only play
I played Pocket.
Wait, only 3? Oh wait, 4.
Well, wait, hands up, higher.
I specifically.
Yeah, let me get your hands, because after this, I'm gonna send out my friend code. You can add me. I need friends. And it turns out, sorry, I'm gonna digress a little bit, but it turns out if you post your friend code on Reddit, you will get a lot of friends. All right.
Posted on the Beltree forums. The Beltree. It's mostly an Animal Crossing trading thing, the 3DS version, but I'm sure they have
I will look into that. Thank you for letting me know. So Animal Crossing Pocket Camp is the most recent game in the franchise. It is for your mobile device, Android and iOS. And this is the 4th mobile game that Nintendo has designed. First one being Miitomo, then Mario Run, which are arguably pretty bad, and then Fire Emblem Heroes, which skyrocketed into success.
Gotcha.
I play that all the time. So this is Nintendo's another attempt at making a freemium game, and this is their first attempt at making a freemium Animal Crossing game. I wanted to download it because, it's an Animal Crossing game. I love the franchise, but also mainly because it's a portable game. A lot of controversy was sparked even before the game was released because it was free, so everybody was already predicting in-game purchases and all that crap that we don't want to deal with, pay to win and all that. So far, it's got 76% on Metacritic within its 10-day launch. Has it been 10 days? Well, no, sorry.
2 weeks.
14 days, yeah, 2 weeks. 2-week launch, and that's meh. But in this game, you have your avatar, you can design them however you want, looks and all, you can change that later on in the game, you just can't change the gender. You have this person, Isabelle, who's from New Leaf, the 3DS one, and she's kind of your manager, your person that you go to talk, which, let's be honest, whoever's playing this game, you never see her again after you start playing the game. And you have this campsite, so this campsite acts as your home or building as compared to the other games. And you get to place items in your campsite, and you get to have tents, and you get to host animals at your campsite, which level you up, and that's why it's grumpy. Yes, I will get to that. Oh, am I running a long time? Oh, crap. Okay, so anyway, this is basically the freemium game for that. How this all fits into the MDA framework, I have it on here, but I can just go through it during my demo. This is just mainly for James. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you really quickly some gameplay for Animal Crossing Wild World.
Bells everywhere.
So much bells.
I used to do that.
Can
Can you skip this?
Oh, yeah, I can
And
see
then
this.
go to the live demo.
Okay. All right, here we go.
Let's
So so for those of you who have the game, can you open your game right now?
Yes.
I deleted it.
Kevin, you suck. Was that you who said that?
Hello. So because I did not get a chance to record myself doing the live stream, I am going to do a little bit of a screencast and share with you guys just kind of how the Animal Crossing franchise and their games fit into the MDA framework, and just going to give a little demonstration on Animal Crossing Wild World, New Leaf, and Pocket Camp, because again my presentation was cut off and not recorded. So let's dive into this really quick. Just zoom past these. Alright, so first up, Animal Crossing Wild World. One of my favorite games in the Animal Crossing franchise. As you saw in my presentation, it was one of the most revolutionary Animal Crossing games in the series. Let me fix this really quick. So as you can see here, I am going through the character selection screen. You have 4 profiles that you can choose from, and for some reason I misspelled my name like 10 years ago. I added in a C in Jordan, which doesn't make sense, so it spells Jordcan. So right now the game is loading everything that's happened ever since the last time I played it, like many years ago. It's re-rendering the map. It's trying to catch up on all of the events that have taken place. So as you can see, I'm kind of browsing. I go to my mailbox, and it's a cool feature in this game where you get mail from your fake mom or whatever, and you can read letters from the government that kind of runs the town, and letters from other residents in the town, which is really cool. So here you'll see me run around and just look at all the things. I used an action replay back in the day, so I turned all my weeds into money bags. It was funny because Animal Crossing Wild World has a feature that if you time travel, like if you change the date on your 3D or your Nintendo DS, then it'll take the time and date and recognize it that, oh, I fast forwarded a year or 2 or something like that. Then your town will spawn a bunch of weeds. So that's why I did that, and then I put a cheat in there to turn all the weeds into money bags, and that's why I have that. So here I have a golden shovel, which is one of the really cool features in this game and the future games as well. There are a bunch of Easter eggs in the game, how you can get these different items, the golden shovel being one of them. You could bury a regular shovel in the ground, wait a day, and then dig it back up, and it'll be golden. The golden axe also, I forgot what it was, but you do a certain amount of steps to do it. But for the fishing pole and for the golden net, you have to capture all of the bugs and all of the fish, so I did not ever get to that. But as you can see, there is a world that lives when I'm not playing this game. This character right here, his name is Poncho. He's like saying like, oh, I haven't seen you in a while. It's been forever, where have you been? So the game takes the clock that it was left off previously and applies the new clock to it. So that's what gets the characters to realize like, oh wow, this person hasn't signed on the game in a while. So that's a really cool feature in these games. You get to see where people have left off ever since the last time you played it. So how it fits in the MDA framework, some mechanics. There are a bunch of controls. So you have your standard D-pad that goes left, right, forward, backward. You have your X, Y, B, and A buttons, which all do different actions. Like pulls up a menu, makes you run faster when you hold down B. A is the interact button, so it's the universal start, pauses the game, select. I don't think it does anything in this game. Actually, I forget. But as you can see, I pulled up a menu, and there's like different items that I have. So mechanics. You have your standard controls to make your character do things. So dynamics, how everything kind of responds to the mechanics. You can take your movement, you can take your actions, and literally just interact with the environment. There's like Poncho here. He's an animal that you can just press A and I will interact with. I think at this point though, right now, I'm trying to actually have another interaction with him, which is not talking, but whacking him in the head with a net. Maybe I'll skip ahead really quick. Nope, I'm talking to him again. Talking to him again. I think, nope, talking to him again. Here we go. So, it's kind of another hidden thing where if you hit one of your animal friends in the head with a net, they'll turn angry and you'll like ruin their day. So, there's so much to discover in this game. Aesthetically, it's gotten a reputation of being a very peaceful, relaxing game, and I definitely get that. Minus when you're getting all grindy, trying to get all the items that you can possibly get. It's really one of those games that you can just pick up and play at any time, and you'll have a fun time doing it. Really, if you want to just sit back and relax, fish, capture some bugs, decorate your home. As you can see, I just walked into my home and I haven't been there in a while, so there's cockroaches running all over the place, and you get to run around and step on the cockroaches. I personally like my Wild World house the most. It's the one I spent the most time on, and I think it's the best looking. So it took me a long time to get all those items in there, those rare items. Yeah, and going back to mechanics and dynamics. So using your controls to do things, to make things happen, and then having them respond in a way. Like for me, if I want to construct or buy furniture for my house, that's what I did right there. And as you can see, I bought my arcade room. So that's Animal Crossing Wild World. We're gonna move on to Animal Crossing New Life. Unfortunately, I can't do a review on, or sorry, a playthrough of the first Animal Crossing game on the GameCube and the one on the Wii, City Folk, because, well, I don't have one on me. It's so much easier to just carry these portable ones around. So here we have Animal Crossing New Leaf, the 2012 installment in the franchise on the Nintendo 3DS. Pretty standard setup we have here. You have me just loading myself into the game. Better graphics, obviously. Let me just skip ahead here. So, a little bit different from the Animal Crossing Wild World game. Your character's on the top screen, not the bottom screen. So you can't really use touchscreen to walk. But it's not a huge deal, honestly. The mechanics are pretty much the same. There's just a little bit more. There's an ability to swim in the water and catch fish and do other things, versus the other games where you just throw your fishing pole in there and that's about it. And in terms of grindiness, it's about the same, but again, aesthetically, the art is beautiful, the modeling is beautiful. Your character looks a lot better in this one. You can also use a 3D feature that the Nintendo 3DS has. But honestly, it's just a really relaxing game. Just checking to see what your neighbors and your animal friends have to say. Honestly, there's not too much different about this game than the previous games, other than added content. So I would say, talking about aesthetics in the MDA framework, there is definitely an added aspect of relaxation and rest, because there's so many things that you can do to relieve stress. So yeah, and obviously there's more updated conversations with different animals and stuff like that. So as you can see, I'm here with Frida. So yeah, I just checked out her house. Oh, and that's also a really cool feature in Animal Crossing. You can, instead of just, or in addition to just talking to animals, you can go into their houses and check out their furniture, sit on their furniture, talk to them about their furniture, which is really cool. Here's Marshall. So I haven't played this in a while. Yeah, they're commenting a lot on how I haven't been around. And if you haven't noticed, when I loaded my first game, my first city in Wild World is called Utopia, and I named this city Utopia too. So it's a little kind of like throwback to my Animal Crossing days right there. So this game, as I kind of talked about in my verbal presentation, you are the mayor of the town versus, well, the original mayor of the town. So it's really interesting, actually. So that changes the dynamics a little bit, how animals respond to you, how you kind of play the game, because you're not playing it just from a villager's perspective or standpoint, but you get to implement town ordinances and basically make things happen the way you want it to, in addition to all the freedom that you have just as a villager in the past games. So there's that. Let me click around here. Yeah, I'm just going to walk through here really quick, show you kind of the beautiful buildings and stuff. So that Club 101 place, that's where KK Slider hangs out. He's a recurring character in the Animal Crossing franchise. He's this white dog who sits on his chair and strums his guitar and sings, which is really cool. It's also really cool how I've gotten to see the characters kind of evolve. Not evolve like they're like physically, but evolve their, I guess, their trademarks throughout the game. So here Blathers is the same. He runs the museum and it looks almost exactly the same. But Tom Nook, the little raccoon guy who runs the store, he starts out as just a little shack and then eventually his own two-story store in Wild World in the town, and then in City Folk, which is the Wii one, has his own store in the city that you have to walk to a whole separate area to. And then this one, he runs the whole mortgage area, and his nephews Timmy and Tommy run the big store where you buy your furniture, and that's all in the city area in this one too. So another recurring feature slash dynamic in this game franchise is that you can do a ton of things to collect, and you can make sure and keep track of your collection through the museum. So every time you catch a fish, every time you catch a bug, find a fossil, find a painting, stuff like that, you can donate it to the museum, and then it'll be there forever for you to view later on. So it's really cool to see how much you've collected over the years, or the duration of time you played the game. So yeah, right here, I'm just running around. Let me click around. So I'm here at the beach, and I'm about to catch a fish, and I messed that one up. Here we go. It's cool how Nintendo went into very, very small detail, just seeing like the size of the fish or the bugs that you catch. It's definitely a feature that can go unnoticed sometimes, but it plays a crucial role in some of the events that happen during the game, like fishing contests or bug catching contests. So this is Broccolo, another villager, and he's saying like, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a while. You better start paying attention to me." So yeah, one mechanic that that is introduced in this game, New Leaf, is that you can literally just press start and then save the game and quit, or save the game and continue. Whereas the past games, you press start, and it'll be like save and quit. So it's like you start the game and then you're done at one time, or you can save your progress and then continue to play. It's just a small thing, but it's very useful feature. Alright, so let's go on to streaming Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. So I have Mirroring 360 right here to basically capture this. So Pocket Camp is a little different than, no, actually it's a lot different than the games in the franchise. So this is Nintendo's attempt at making a freemium game with the Animal Crossing skin on it. So you have your villager right here, and you get to, there are 8 different destinations that you can go to. The top left being a river where you can catch river type fish. Bottom left, the island where you can catch bugs. Bottom right, where you can go to the beach and catch beach type fish. To the right is a tree area, so you can pick fruit. The quarry, which is at the top, where you can harvest for. Oh no! What happened? Oh, I think it's reloading because it's the next on the clock. The quarry where you can harvest materials, and on the top right, you can your house is basically a camper this time. where you can design the inside and the outside. So you do that there, and the store where you buy clothes and furniture and stuff is here on the left of the campsite, and right here in the middle is your campsite. So we'll go to my campsite really quick. Okay, so here's mine. I'm pretty high level right now. I think I'm 37, which is decent since the game has just come out only a few weeks ago. So everything you do in this game is for the sake of leveling up, so you can get more money, more materials, so you can build furniture, so you can decorate your tent. It may not be for everyone. You can draw the same conclusions as you can from the old games into this one, where you're basically just grinding to get more stuff. But I think the old ones there's a lot more to do. This one, literally, you go to the different island spots, like right here on the top left. This guy named Rex, he wants 2 fish. He wants a squid and he wants a flatfish. So you give animals these items. You fulfill the requests, and they give you money and materials back, so you can buy stuff or you can do stuff. And then you level up with that animal. And then when you reach a certain level with the animal, like say you jump from level 2 to level 3. It gives you a little heart that goes up to the top left of the screen, which is your personal level, and that adds to that bar. So right now my bar is almost filled, so I'll be approaching level 38. And honestly, that's where the grindiness comes in, because you go to all 4 locations on the map where you can give animals things, and you just fulfill their requests. So mechanics for this game, it's touch sensitive, so you touch your finger, so I'm like touching, and my character is like walking around and stuff wherever I go, wherever I touch. You touch on animals to talk to them, so I'm going to touch here Cherry, or Sherry, whatever her name is, sitting on the couch right here. I'm going to tap on her, and I'm going to talk to her. So the text highlighted in red indicates that it's something that can help you level up. In this case, the animals that are living in my campsite, they give me things because they appreciate my hospitality. So that's cool. And as you can see, I have a lot of the Christmas themed stuff already. I still have 2 more or 3 more that I need to get, so gotta start grinding on that. But yeah, dynamics for this game, how the controls respond with the environment. Really, it's as simple as just using the touch controls to catch fish, catch bugs, and I'll show you here in a sec. Or to pick up items, so like pick up the shell, or pick up this these coconuts. Okay, so I'm just waiting for the fish to take notice of my bait. It says tap, I tap, and I have a squid. So that's cool. Wrong button, or wrong touch. So I'm going to give this squid to Rex over here, because the check mark on the map indicates that you have the items that he needs. So I'm going to go to him. Where is he? Oh, he's right there. So I'm going to talk to him. Here you go. Give him the items. And this is all in for the sake of developing a relationship, a better relationship with these animals. Oh, hold on. Something on my computer is playing. Okay, sorry. So yeah, here he has stuff, and he gives me XP in the long run. So because I reached level 7 with this character, I get an item, which is a blue bar tea. So it's just another one of those achievements and stuff. So some other features, you have a friends list, so you can add a bunch of people. I put my friend code out on Reddit, so I have a bunch of random people. But the benefit is that you get to see what they're doing, help them out with the query. Because to participate in the query, you need help from 5 people on your friends list. If they respond, or pay 20 leaf tickets, which I'll get into the leaf tickets in a bit. So you have your friends list. You can add friends through the add friend button. And kudos are things that you can I think they're just like random praises you give to random people. So you have your goals here, and those are for you to achieve them so you can get those items. And then you just have a bunch of other features that are actually kind of not really that important. And the mailbox right here is where you collect all your items that you got from achievements. So leaf tickets. This is where Nintendo gets into the like kind of pay to win kind of thing. So just like any normal like phone game nowadays, or free phone game at least, there's in-game purchases that you can make, but that's how they get you, right? And there's a lot of controversy going over that because nobody ever thought Animal Crossing would be a game, that kind of a game, but Nintendo made it, and they're like, oh, how can you do that to us? So as you can see, there's different packages. You can buy 20 leaf tickets for that much, blah blah blah, blah. And there's like bundles and stuff. So leaf tickets are used for the things that you really need to get done. Say like you're crafting an item at the store right here, and you don't have enough materials or enough bells. Like right here, I don't have enough paper on the bottom left to construct this. But if I go to the order screen and I say craft it, I can use 40 leaf tickets out of my 235 to do that. Honestly, it's not worth it, because leaf tickets are things you can only get through special occasions or if you buy them with real money. So you want to save those as much as possible. But again, that's where we get into the argument like, oh, is this like really a game, or is this just a grindy activity? So yeah, that's pretty much Animal Crossing Pocket Camp in a nutshell. Me personally, I like this game. I will play it. I haven't played it in a couple days, but I played it enough to the point where I'm level 37 now. But you know, it's just it's very different from the mainline games of Animal Crossing. Aesthetically, it's beautiful, and I think the graphics are great for the phone and what the phone can do. I just my emotional response to it is it's still a pretty relaxing game, not as relaxing as the other ones, but I do believe that it fits within the Animal Crossing franchise as an actual game. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree, but that's what I think it is. And yeah, so let me get into kind of the rest of my slides that I didn't get to present before. So let me turn this down. I'm gonna X that out. All right. Yeah, so for my personal review of the Animal Crossing franchise, it's a really good one. Starting with the Animal Crossing Wild World for the Nintendo DS, and then the next two mainline ones, I've just had a really good time playing them. I have to say that the portable games are more successful than the console ones, just because that they're portable. No one wants to boot up a game and then play this type of game for like 5 minutes and then like log off. Like, who wants to turn on their Wii for that long? So having your 3DS and Nintendo DS in your pocket, or just anywhere you go and you just play whenever you want, turn it off whenever you want, that's good. Kind of touching on dynamics again, there are not just normal days in the game. There are themed days. It uses your device's calendar, whatever console or portable console you have, and it say like it's Christmas time. So around this time it'll be snowing, like you saw in Pocket Camp, and there will be a bunch of kind of just like lights around and Christmas themed things that you can buy. So that's what I really appreciate about this game. It gives you goals, it gives you a bunch of things to strive after. Overall, it is a really grindy franchise, but you can definitely find relaxation and exploration during gameplay. I want to go over a little bit of the world impact that it had. Animal Crossing, the original one sold 2.32 million, which is I mean, not a lot, but it is a good amount. Now, when we get to Wild World, that's the best-selling game of the franchise at 11.75 million, which is just, not too far ahead of Animal Crossing New Leaf. So both of those are really big sellers. And then we get to City Folk, which was like meh, 4.32 million. And then when we get to Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer and Amiibo Festival, that's when it really started to go downhill. And then Pocket Camp, as of last week, December 5th, 2017, there are 15 million downloads on both iOS and Android. I want to say with those stats, Animal Crossing has definitely made a name for itself in the gaming industry, in the gaming world, and a lot of players are really satisfied with the game. It's, again, one of those games you can just pick up and play whenever you want. You won't really get frustrated, you won't really get angry. There's no super big main objective other than just to collect things, but you can do it on your own time. So that's what I really appreciate about this franchise. Overall, the Animal Crossing franchise has definitely taken the world by storm since its launch in 2002 or 2001, and then to the GameCube in 2002. The fan base started to take off upon release of Wild World, and it's definitely one of the very few unique video games that manages to squeeze a relaxing gameplay with objective-based missions at the player's discretion and timing. So yeah, great job, Nintendo. You made a really successful franchise. I just really appreciate the uniqueness of the franchise, and I just can't wait to see how you guys are gonna take it further. So that is my analysis. That is my presentation on the Animal Crossing franchise. Thank you guys for watching.